What is going on, Bulls Nation? So, just jumping off this trade that the Hornets did with the Heat, should the Bulls jump in this Hornets teardown and could we entice them to a little Zach Lavine? We're going to talk about it right after this.
This is your home for all things Chicago Bulls. Join the conversation. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So we're less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, and I'm not gonna stop till we trade Zach Lavine because I just feel like we are just better, just not thinking about Zach Lavine, and that's not nothing against him. I don't think he's disrupting anything. It's just that the rapport, the defense, the switching, the assignment. It's just I feel like it's more snappier when he's not on the floor. Because if he's not on the floor, it's Caruso that's on the floor, or Ayo. So I kind of like that mix better, So we'll talk about the Charlotte Hornets, and you saw on the thumbnail, Charlotte is not a destination for free agents. We all know that, and they just traded away arguably this is their best player this season, with Terry Rozier, for basically an expiring in Kyle Lowry and a first round pick on 2027, and that's a lottery protected first as well. 2028, if it doesn't convey, then it's unprotected. Can the Bulls swoop in and get that first round pick, and in return to match the salaries, the Bulls can give up Zach Lavine, and in return Hornets are going to give up Gordon Hayward, which I'm pretty sure they're going to let him walk away anyway, and James Bonai. And they've given up on this kid a long time ago, and he doesn't have any place for the Bulls either. We have tons of guards, but in this upcoming play-in, I can see Gordon Hayward being a good rental. The biggest positive I would say for having Gordon Hayward is he's an expiring. So you have, not that we're going to use this cap flexibility, but at least you're not tied up to Zach Lavine for the next couple or 3 more years when you trade him for Gordon Hayward. If you do get, say Gordon Hayward, we get him. Let's just pretend that DeMar walked away. So that's around like 40 or 30 million in cap space. You don't need to use him. You don't need to give up a long term for a player. Give somebody a 1-year deal and see, because after this year, the free agent pool is non-existent. It looks promising to begin with, but Zach, DeMar, not DeMar. DeMar is a free agent. You don't want to give him a long-term contract either. Guys like Kawhi have already signed. So LeBron, they're not going to be free agents. Paul George. So there's no really point in getting. Plus, they don't fit the timeline for the Bulls anyway. So just sign a few guys that maybe has some potential for a year or 2. So you're not tied up into any long term, and go with that. So you can have some flexibility down the line. Because you don't want to repeat the mistake that you did with Zach, and that is giving someone, as we know, who's not deserving with that max contract, and now we're having a hard time in moving him, and we might just have to get rid of him as a salary dump. But in the process, I like to get Gordon Hayward. He's a pretty good wing, plays pretty good defense, can shoot the 3, can play spot minutes. I would love to have Martin as well. I don't think they're going to give up Martin. But if we can snag that first round pick, we might just have to cut our losses and accept this. Now, trust me, do I want more for Zach? Of course I do. But looking at the landscape now, it doesn't look like anyone wants Zach or have to do with that contract at all. And for the Bulls' sake, so we can move on, we can move forward with this, I just want this to get over with. So every day I'm going to try to propose a trade, and it might not be the sexiest, but at least it's somewhat realistic. Like, again, because we're talking about Charlotte here, who's a franchise who's been a poverty for a while now. And again, they're going to have him and Kyle as a I guess, salary that's going to be free up with cap space. There's no good free agents this year, so that applies to Charlotte as well. And at the same time, who would they get? Like who's signing with them? So I think this would kind of benefit them more than us. But with us, it's more of hey, I want to move on from Zach Lavine and let me move forward with the team that I have. If not, we'll see what happens with DeMar in the offseason, but at least we got a decent, I know he's injured as well with his calf, but if he is playing, I think he could, somewhat help the Bulls because he does have toughness. Again, defense, 3-point shooting, he can drive to the hole as you can see here. Heck, maybe you can even re-sign him for cheap. He's injury prone, but if you're not going to pay him $30 million, if you're paying him close to, I don't even know what his value now, 5, I don't know, 7, like Caruso, then maybe why not, right? Like, why not bring him? He looks like a high character guy, to this squad of young guys, and maybe he could, help out. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about this trade. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Bulls fan, and I'll see you guys in the next video.